If things hold up at this price and we stay as busy as we were last year, I'll pay $70,000 more for eggs than I did last year.
That's Theodore Karunos, the owner of Manhattan Square Diner. With egg prices soaring, he's choosing to foot the bill for now, worrying his customers don't deserve another price hike. But he says his breaking point might be nearing.
I can't just absorb that hit for the next 9 months. I was hoping that prices would come down, but most from what I've been hearing is they're going to stay high for at least another 6 months.
That's a problem small business owners across the country are facing, ahead of what's expected to be one of the priciest years on record for egg buyers. The price of eggs is already at a historic high, with wholesale shoppers like small businesses last week paying $8 for a dozen eggs. Many grocery stores sell their eggs at a loss to get customers in the door, bringing the average retail price of a dozen eggs to $5. The USDA predicts that price might increase 40% this year, and experts are warning those prices might stay high even if the supply of eggs in the United States rebounds. Since the country's first major outbreak of bird flu in 2015, egg and poultry farmers have been trying to maintain a steady supply of healthy egg-laying chickens. In 2022, the avian flu again began to wreak havoc, and since last year, there's been a surge of outbreaks in commercial poultry farms that has been particularly devastating.
The biggest difference of late is just that it has been more lethal and really devastated our nation's egg supply.
Karen Rispoli is the managing editor of the eggs division in Expana, a firm that collects and tracks the price of eggs.
In just 4 months, we've lost 52 million layers and pullets within our nation's egg supply, which is vastly different than any other outbreak that we've seen in the past.
While the supply of eggs is at a 10-year low, the demand for eggs has stayed high.
There's this immediate supply constriction. And this is a good that's very inelastic, meaning that it's a very low-priced good and it's a staple of people's diets, and therefore people keep buying it even when prices go up.
Those high prices and strong demand create a perfect storm for consumers and small businesses to pick up the tab, even when the supply of eggs eventually rebounds. Rispoli pointed to the last time the price of eggs skyrocketed in 2022 due to the bird flu.
As the market corrected and came down substantially, retailers were then holding shelf prices higher to try and recapture some of the margin that they had previously forfeited.
Some egg producers are making money from the surge too. Cal-Maine Foods, the largest producer and distributor of eggs in the United States, tripled their profits in 2023 after the price of eggs surged, and this fiscal year their gross profit is up more than 300%. So who's getting the short end of the stick here? Small farmers are struggling to cope with the loss of their entire flocks once one chicken is infected with the bird flu. Grocery shoppers are seeing the price of a dozen eggs as high as $10. Consumers are paying an egg surcharge at big chains like Waffle House and Denny's. And small business owners are grappling with whether to absorb the high cost of eggs or pass the price to their customers.
Of course, we don't want to charge extra our customers because we don't want to, it's not our customers' fault, you know. But I don't know how long we're going to last without charging some extra.
Johnny Romano's restaurant might have been made famous as the fictional stand-in for Monk's Cafe in Seinfeld, but the high cost of eggs has had a very real impact on his bottom line.
In the case of a restaurant, they aren't necessarily able to pass on the full price increase. We're not talking about a simple commodity where the market's clear immediately and you just have to pass on the full price increase.
At the Hungarian pastry shop in Manhattan, owner Philip Benyoris is trying his best not to pass the cost of eggs to his customers.
It's frustrating. I would like to not raise our prices. I think that we have fair prices, and I like to be able to keep them stable.
At Little Italy's famous Ferrara Bakery and Cafe, co-owner Ernest Lapori is refusing to increase his prices, even though he relies on eggs for nearly 50% of his bakery's pastries.
In the cannoli, there's egg yolks. In our cookies, there's egg whites. In the tricolor, there's all fresh eggs. We are so egg heavy.
For now, Lapori is keeping his prices steady, saving money elsewhere and making smaller batches to reduce waste. But for many small businesses, a price hike might be out of their control.
I'm just kind of waiting to see how bad this gets before I make a decision on how I'm going to raise prices, but it's tight.